So my regular Saigon swimming spot recently stopped allowing short-term membership, so I've gone in search of a new swimming option in the city, and I decided to head to the oldest pool that I know in Saigon. This pool was built in the 1930s at the height of sort of French colonial rule here, and it became part of a complex of swimming pool and cycling and tennis and other sporting amenities for the colonial elite. And in the 60s and 70s, after the French left and the Americans arrived, this became a place for recreation for the new elite, the South Vietnamese government officials and US government and military types as well. US Ambassador Henry Cabot-Lodge is said to have been a regular swimmer here in the early 1960s.
This is the membership card for one William Colby. Colby was the station chief for the CIA in Saigon from 1959 to 1962. Very important years. And he then went on to become director of the CIA much later.
These days, though, you won't see too many ambassadorial or consular type swimming here. It's very much a public facility, and but it's a well used and it's actually a pretty good spot for a swim.
The old deco structure doesn't look to have had much love since 1975. That's one of the things I really like about the place. Expected to get a lot more crowded than this though, except in the middle of the day when the Saigonese like to avoid the sun. The water quality seems fine. Of course, I haven't run any lab tests. In 2019 in Saigon, just being surrounded by these trees is reward enough. Apart from the pool, there's lots of other interesting stuff going on around here. The whole area is now known as Tao Dan Park, and this is one of the best green spaces in the city. In a ritual that dates back to French colonial times, these guys gather each afternoon for a session of pétanque. I'm told this old fella's been coming here since before 1975, which means he would have seen this place in both its incarnations. There's adorable ballroom dancing in this French-era ballroom. Like much of the city's heritage, there are rumours this building faces demolition. But I also note that the whole heritage conversation is changing in Vietnam right now, and so maybe this building will survive too. Here are some other pics of Cercle Sportif before 1975.
So if you're feeling like the intensity of Saigon's getting to you, head down to this part of town, head down to Tao Dan Park. If you're feeling like a dip, you might want to pop into that pool. Otherwise, just hang out here. The locals will be exercising, and you can just pull back a little bit from the madness of the city. The walk here is pretty cool too. It takes you to past some of the city's most historic streets. This is the old presidential palace here. And this old building here is the back end of what is now the People's Court of Ho Chi Minh City, and what was the colonial era courthouse. The building behind me here is a favourite. This is the Sciences Library, or the General Sciences Library of Ho Chi Minh City, and it is a classic piece of homegrown Vietnamese modernist architecture. And there's a lot of this stuff around the city, although it doesn't get a whole lot of recognition, but it's very special and very distinctive. And it also is a bit of a reminder of how green this city once was. What may be best of all about this little walk is that these are some of the most walker-friendly streets in Saigon. Not only are they shaded by beautiful old trees and surrounded by historic architecture, they also are the least invaded by motorbikes. So it's actually possible to have quite a pleasant walk along this part of town as well. For more original and independent travel information about Vietnam and Ho Chi Minh City, head over to rustycompass.com. Thank you.